know what I mean? It ain't the same fireworks, it ain't the same combustion. You just can't get it.
You're so stupid.
I know it.
That's very stupid.
I hear you.
I know.
Listen, man, I'ma just be real. The chemistry of you and I cannot be duplicated. You can put you with somebody else, you can put me with somebody else, you ain't gonna get the same thing, man. You know what I mean? It ain't the same fireworks, it ain't the same combustion. You just can't get it.
You're so stupid.
I know it.
Atlanta thought it was just another quiet night until chaos exploded online with a scandal so wild it felt straight out of a movie. A leaked hotel video sent shockwaves through the Harris family, showing Clifford T.I. Harris in a dimly lit luxury suite with none other than Shekinah Anderson, the woman everyone once knew as Tiny's ride-or-die best friend. This wasn't just talk on the streets or gossip from the blogs. This was real footage, crystal clear, blasting across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter like a digital bomb. Hashtags like #exposed and #justice. For Tiny took over overnight, leaving fans speechless, critics disgusted, and supporters straight up heartbroken. Nobody could believe what they were seeing. In the video, expensive champagne bottles covered the table, curtains barely closed, and there they were, T.I. and Shekinah, locked in a moment that shattered everything he'd ever claimed to stand for. Loyalty, gone. Family, shattered. Respect, vanished. Years of preaching about morals disappeared in a single night that would go down in entertainment history as one of the most shocking betrayals ever caught on camera. And the internet didn't stop there. Fans started digging up old interviews where Tiny talked about trust, love, and staying solid through hard times, editing them right next to the leaked footage. It was brutal. What started as a scandal turned into a full-blown public disaster that destroyed a marriage live in front of millions. But Tiny? Oh, she didn't fold. She walked straight into that courtroom with her head high and her pain showing for the world to see. No cryptic captions, no fake smiles, just raw emotion. And then she dropped the betrayal lawsuit of the decade, a jaw-dropping $50 million case against both T.I. and Shekinah. The claims? Emotional abuse, public humiliation, and dragging her name through the dirt in front of the whole world. When reporters heard that number, they nearly dropped their pens. $50 million for a broken home, shattered loyalty, and global embarrassment. The courtroom turned into pure chaos, cameras flashing, lawyers throwing accusations like grenades, and then came the ultimate twist. An anonymous source slid in a diary, allegedly written by Shekinah herself. Inside were words that cut deeper than any headline. Clifford promised me he'd leave Tiny. He told me we'd rule the industry together. That quote hit like thunder. Tiny broke down right there, crying, shaking, screaming that they had ruined her life and destroyed her family. Within minutes, that moment went viral. Millions watched and cried with her as she became more than a celebrity wife. She became the face of every woman who's ever been betrayed by someone she trusted. But just when everyone thought it was over, T.I. fired back with his own twist. His legal team claimed the whole video was a setup, a trap crafted by Shekinah to chase fame and money off his name. They said the betrayal was fake, a performance built to ruin him and boost her own spotlight. Gasps filled the courtroom as people started whispering, was this a real act of betrayal or $1 million setup gone wrong? Shekinah didn't stay quiet for a second. She jumped up and fired back with full fury, accusing T.I. of being the real manipulator, the man who fed her dreams of love, power, and forever, only to throw her to the wolves when the world started watching. The courtroom cracked with tension as two women who once called each other sisters turned into sworn enemies, fighting not just for truth, but for their names, their pride, and their survival. And right in the middle of it all, T.I. sat stone-faced, watching his empire crumble in real time while the internet outside turned into a digital war zone. Within minutes, Shekinah's Instagram was pure chaos. Thousands flooded her comments, dragging her with words like snake, homewrecker, and backstabber. Memes flooded the timeline, turning her into the villain of the year while Tiny became the people's queen. Fans filled murals with Tiny's face under bold captions like "Justice for Tiny" and "The Queen deserves better." Heartbreak emojis filled the feed, and critics roasted T.I. for tearing down his own kingdom piece by piece. But nothing hit harder than the next moment, Tiny walking out of court holding her daughter's hand. Cameras swarmed, microphones pushed close, and through tears she whispered, "Look what your father did to us. Look how he destroyed our home." That moment shattered the internet. The clip spread across every major platform, leaving people speechless. This wasn't just celebrity drama anymore. It was raw, painful, and personal. A family's heartbreak was playing out live before millions. The backlash came fast and merciless. Endorsements dropped T.I. overnight. Tour dates vanished. Sponsors pulled out. Outside his mansion, protesters gathered with signs demanding justice for Tiny and accountability from T.I. Shekinah's name burned across social media like wildfire, while Tiny, despite the tears, stood tall as the broken but undefeated queen the world suddenly couldn't stop rooting for. And just when everyone thought it couldn't possibly get worse, Tiny's lawyers dropped a bombshell that changed everything. Hidden audio recordings hit the courtroom speakers. A man's voice that sounded exactly like T.I. whispering, "Just keep it quiet, Shekinah. Tiny can never know. If this gets out, everything I built is gone." The room erupted. Reporters scrambled, typing furiously while gasps filled every corner of the courtroom. Tiny covered her face, sobbing as those haunting words echoed through the room. Then came the hotel receipts, names, dates, and room numbers, all linking Shekinah directly to T.Y.'s reservation. It was proof on paper, undeniable and cold as steel. The internet blew up again, headlines flashing, T.I. caught red-handed. By the second day, the trial had turned into full-blown courtroom theater. Tiny's legal team rolled out a hard drive packed with more recordings, hours of secret calls and messages. The first clip played again, that same chilling voice repeating, "Just keep it quiet, Shekinah. Tiny can never know. If this gets out, everything I built is gone." The audience froze. Even the judge looked stunned. Gasps rippled through the gallery and Tiny buried her face in pure agony. That was the moment the world shifted. The hashtags changed in real time. Hashtag Tiny deserves better. Hashtag T.I. betrayed Tiny. Hashtag Shekinah exposed flooded every feed. There was no escaping it anymore. The betrayal was real, stamped with receipts sealed in court files and burned into history forever. Tiny's lawyers laid out the hotel bookings like the final blow. T.I.'s name, Shekinah as guest, dates matching the leaked video. The jury's faces said it all. No more rumors, no more speculation. This was betrayal proven beyond a doubt. Cold, brutal, and unforgettable. Tiny's lawyer stepped forward, voice booming through the courtroom like thunder. "This isn't gossip, this is proof," he roared. Clifford Harris destroyed his wife's trust, humiliated her, and tore their family apart in front of the whole world. The room went silent for a heartbeat before gasps echoed all around. Tiny's hands shook, her face pale as she crumbled into her attorney's arms, the weight of the moment crushing her. The crowd buzzed like a live wire. No one could believe what they just heard. T.I.'s defense team jumped up in panic, waving papers and shouting that the evidence was fake, claiming the receipts were forged by enemies in the music game trying to destroy T.I.'s legacy. Suddenly, the courtroom turned into a war zone and the internet followed. Theories exploded everywhere. Was this the biggest setup in hip-hop history, or a betrayal so deep it made Hollywood scandals look soft? Streets couldn't stop arguing, half saying T.I. was being framed, the other half calling it the coldest, most shameless betrayal the culture had ever witnessed. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. Shekinah's turn to take the stand. She looked nervous but tried to hold her head high. With tears streaming down her face, she locked eyes with both T.I. and Tiny before whispering, "I never wanted to hurt Tiny. She was my sister. But T.I. promised me everything. He told me he'd leave her. He said I was the one." Her voice cracked mid-sentence. The gallery gasped, and the air turned heavy. Protesters outside could be heard chanting, "Stand with Tiny," while inside whispers of "liar" cut through the tension like blades. Shekinah tried to play the victim, but sympathy was running on fumes. Tiny's lawyers weren't done yet. They had one last hit, and it was pure dynamite. They pulled up screenshots, private DMs allegedly sent by Shekinah herself to T.I. One message read, "Cliff, I can't wait until she's out of the picture. It's finally going to be just us." The courtroom exploded. Reporters sprinted out the doors to break the story first, while the internet went into total meltdown mode. Screenshots covered every timeline, every blog, every feed, turning Shekinah from the other woman into the ultimate backstabber. Tiny couldn't take it anymore. She turned to the judge, tears streaming, and cried out, "How much more do I have to see? How much more can a woman take?" That raw, heartbroken moment broke the internet. Clips of her breakdown flooded every platform, instantly becoming one of the most emotional viral moments ever seen. And just when people thought the worst was over, a hotel employee took the stand and dropped another bomb. Calm but firm, he testified that he personally saw T.I. and Shekinah checking in together multiple times. His words hit like a grenade in the room. That's when T.I. lost it completely. He slammed his fist on the table and shouted, "They're lying. This is all lies. I'm being set up." The judge's gavel cracked down hard, warning him he'd be held in contempt if he didn't calm down. Cameras caught every second, the fury, the tension, the unraveling of a man once seen as untouchable. The footage spread online like wildfire with captions like, "The empire crumbles and caught in the act." Outside, pure chaos reigned. News vans lined the courthouse steps, fans screamed from the sidewalks, and camera flashes lit up the sky. The downfall of one of hip-hop's most famous families had turned into a full-blown media circus, part trial, part tragedy, and all spectacle. Helicopters buzzed overhead while influencers live-streamed every tear, whisper, and courtroom outburst to millions watching around the world. Protesters waved massive signs reading "Ban the Betrayers," and murals began popping up showing Tiny rising from flames like a phoenix, broken but fierce. Every flicker of emotion became content, every gasp became a headline, and every tear became a meme. What started as a private disaster had transformed into the biggest public meltdown the music world had ever seen, and everyone was watching it unfold live. And then, boom! The courtroom nearly exploded as the financial bombshell dropped. Out of nowhere, leaked bank records hit the internet and lit the room on fire. Massive wire transfers, tens of thousands at a time, were traced straight from T.I.'s accounts into Shekinah's hands, spanning over years. The numbers flashing across the projector said it all. This wasn't just some messy affair, it looked like hush money. Tiny gasped as the evidence hit the screen. The jury's faces twisted in shock, and Shekinah completely broke down, screaming through tears. "It wasn't about money. I loved him. I thought he loved me back." The courtroom went wild. Reporters clutched their cameras while fans online called her breakdown the performance of a lifetime. Memes flooded every platform, her face mid-scream, captions reading, "Oscar goes to Shekinah," while others called it the final nail in her coffin. By now, Tiny wasn't just a betrayed wife. She had turned into a movement. The pain, the strength, the calm fire in her eyes. It all spoke for every woman who'd ever been lied to or played. Pale but steady, she walked out of that courtroom, looked dead into the cameras and said, "This isn't just about me. It's about every woman who's ever been lied to, betrayed, and broken. I will fight until the truth is heard." Those words hit the air like poetry, powerful, raw, and unforgettable. Within hours, her quote was everywhere, on talk shows, news broadcasts, podcasts, and TikTok edits with slow-motion clips and sad piano music. Tiny had officially become the tragic heroine of modern fame. Meanwhile, T.I. sat cold and silent, his once golden image crumbling to dust. Endorsements gone. Tour dates canceled. His mansion surrounded by angry protesters chanting his name like it was a curse. And Shekinah, the woman who once chased fame, was now drowning in hate. Her Instagram turned into a digital battlefield, comments calling her a snake, a traitor, a backstabber. Memes painted her as the villain of Atlanta, while the internet crowned Tiny as the queen of heartbreak and survival. What started as one leaked video had now evolved into a full-blown war. Receipts, recordings, confessions, betrayals, and heartbreak, all playing out like a blockbuster scandal. The courtroom had transformed from a place of law into the biggest live drama in America. By the third week, it didn't even feel like a trial anymore. It was a stage, a tragedy, and the whole world had front row seats. The silence in that courtroom was bone deep as Tiny, hands trembling, looked at the two people who'd torn her world apart. Her husband, Clifford Harris, and her once best friend, Shekinah. This wasn't rumor. This wasn't gossip. This was betrayal written in ink, played on tape, and carved into stone. Diaries, voicemails, and receipts, every piece painted the same ugly truth. Then came the twist that shattered what was left. Shekinah's final confession. She took the stand, voice cracking as she said, "Clifford promised me love. He promised me freedom. He told me Tiny was holding him back." Gasps filled the room. Tiny collapsed into her lawyer's arms while cameras zoomed in on every tear. Outside, social media froze mid-scroll. Everybody just stopped. It wasn't gossip anymore. It was raw, painful heartbreak broadcast for the entire planet to witness. Within minutes, timelines erupted again. Hashtags like #TinyBroken, #ExposedForever, and #Justice. For Tiny flooded every corner of the internet. Reaction videos poured in, fans sobbing, influencers dissecting every word, gossip channels replaying the confession in slow motion. Memes of T.I. spread across social media with captions like Empire of Lies and Snake of the South. As for Shekinah, she was finished. Old clips resurfaced of her bragging about fame, smiling next to Tiny like nothing was wrong. Now twisted into proof of betrayal, the public turned on her completely. The internet had chosen its queen, and it wasn't her. Tiny, broken but fearless, humiliated but unshakable, rose from the ashes as the symbol of strength, pain, and power. She had become the face of every woman who'd ever trusted the wrong man. And this time, the whole world was watching her win. Just when everyone thought the courtroom couldn't get any hotter, boom! Tiny's legal team dropped a bomb so massive it left the defense speechless. A private voicemail leaked live in court. T.Y.'s voice low, shaky, and desperate as he whispered to Shekinah, "I can't let Tiny know. If this gets out, it's over for me. But you're the only one who understands me." The words hit like lightning. The entire room froze in stunned silence. Cameras flashed, reporters sprinted for the exits to break the story first, and then it happened. Tiny's scream echoed through the courtroom, piercing and raw. "You ruined my family. You lied to my children." Her pain ripped through the air like thunder. That moment alone took over every headline, replayed non-stop across TV screens and timelines, cementing this scandal as one of the most gut-wrenching betrayals in hip-hop history. Outside, Atlanta erupted into chaos. Protesters flooded the streets chanting "Justice for Tiny" and "Cancel T.I. forever," while others mocked Shekinah with posters calling her the Snake of the South. The courthouse steps became a war zone. Anchors shouting into mics, bloggers going live, YouTubers dissecting every scream and tear frame by frame. Helicopters hovered above as flashing lights turned the night sky into a chaotic circus of scandal. Back inside, Tiny took the stand and delivered a testimony that broke hearts worldwide. Her voice shook as she cried, "I gave him my youth, my loyalty, my heart, and he traded it all for lies with my so-called best friend." The entire courtroom was still, hanging on to every syllable. It wasn't just a statement, it was heartbreak turned into poetry, pain painted in real time. I tried to fight back, claiming he'd been manipulated, lured, and set up. But the jury's cold eyes said it all. They weren't buying it. His empire, his reputation, his power, gone. Shekinah burst into tears again, yelling, "He loved me! Don't make me the villain when all I did was believe his lies." But it was too late. The world had already made its decision. She wasn't the victim anymore. She was the betrayer, the woman who crossed the line you can never uncross. Then came the final dagger, the proof that broke whatever pieces of hope were left. Tiny's lawyers revealed diary pages allegedly written by Shekinah herself, dripping with obsession and jealousy. One entry read, "Clifford said we'd rule the industry together. Tiny is nothing compared to what we have." Gas ripped through the gallery as Tiny collapsed once again, clutching her chest in disbelief, whispering through her sobs, "Why me?" Cameras caught that exact moment. Her shaking hands, her tear-streaked face, her voice breaking, and it went viral instantly. The clip spread across the globe like wildfire. That one cry, "Why me?" became the sound of heartbreak itself, replayed millions of times, stitched into edits, reactions, and tributes. It wasn't gossip anymore. It was tragedy in motion, a modern-day heartbreak turned into history. When the judge finally adjourned the court, the silence was deafening. The damage was done. Tiny was carried out, sobbing into her lawyer's shoulder, barely able to walk. T.I. left with his head hung low, surrounded by boos and flashes from the furious crowd outside. His empire had fallen in real time, brick by brick, lie by lie. And Shekinah, once the bold, confident best friend, was swallowed by humiliation. She pushed through the mob, face hidden, drowned in screams and insults. The internet devoured every second. Tiny's breakdown hit millions of views overnight. Fans crying along with her, influencers sharing their own betrayal stories, podcasts debating whether T.I. could ever bounce back. But the truth was clear to everyone watching. There was no comeback big enough to erase what the world had just seen. The Harris family saga had become bigger than music, bigger than fame. It was betrayal, heartbreak, and raw emotion on full display, and no one could look away. The fallout hit harder than anyone could have imagined. Radio hosts went to war over whether to ban his music, fans launched boycotts under #CancelTI, and endorsements vanished faster than smoke in the wind. Whole tours got canceled before they could even start, and the empire T.I. had bragged about for decades, it was collapsing. Brick by brick, live in front of millions. His legacy wasn't just bruised, it was bleeding out in real time. Shekinah didn't escape the fire either. Her name turned radioactive. No brand, no show, no platform wanted to touch her. Old clips from her reality TV days resurfaced online, edited into brutal memes mocking her every move. She had officially become the walking definition of scandal. Meanwhile, Tiny, though crushed and heartbroken, rose like a phoenix from the ashes. She became the people's queen, the survivor everyone rooted for. A woman wrapped in pain but fueled by power. Then came the moment that broke hearts around the world. A shaky fan video captured Tiny clutching her daughter's hand, tears streaming as she whispered, "This is why I fought to protect you, to show you no woman deserves this." That clip went viral instantly. Fans flooded social media with captions like, "A queen broken but never defeated." It became the image of the entire saga. Betrayal, heartbreak, and strength all wrapped into one haunting moment. As the dust began to settle, the big questions refused to fade away. Could Tiny ever truly heal from scars this deep? Could T.I. crawl out from the ruins of an empire he built and destroyed with his own hands? And what about Shekinah? Had she just sealed her fate as one of the most despised figures in hip-hop history? The internet was divided, timelines flooded with think pieces, reaction videos, and debates that wouldn't die down. Because this wasn't just another messy celebrity scandal. This was betrayal on a global stage. A love story flipped into tragedy, a friendship turned into war, and a family torn apart right in front of us all. What once looked unbreakable had turned into pure chaos. And the saddest part, the kids now carried the scars from choices they never asked for. We scroll through headlines like they're entertainment, but this wasn't entertainment. This was real heartbreak, raw and unfiltered, playing out like a modern Greek tragedy. A family destroyed, a courtroom turned into a stage, millions of us forced to watch as one woman, the queen herself, cried out for justice while the world held its breath. This won't just go down as celebrity gossip. It'll be remembered as the day an empire crumbled in full view. And now the real question still hangs heavy in the air. Do you stand with Tiny, the woman who gave her all and was left in pieces? Do you believe T.I. can ever rebuild even a shadow of what he lost? Or has Shekinah burned the last bridge that could have saved her name? Tell me what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this isn't just drama anymore. This is history unfolding before our eyes. And before you scroll away, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with your people. Keep the conversation alive in the comments, because trust me, this story, oh, it's far from over. See you in the next one.